Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Therapy Wisdom. Now, if you have not feel like I'm not good enough, you can just not watch this video, but if you have, stay because we are going to share our experience today. Hi, my name is Mini. I am a licensed therapist here in Malaysia, and we are currently doing Therapy Wisdom with a very special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself very quickly?
Hi, it's Mia from Yura Glow.
Alright, a little backstory on why we have Mia here is that we used to be from the same uni. She's actually my senior during our bachelor degree. Yeah, we studied psychology together. It's been a very good kind of like reuniting experience with you because I think we had like 2-3 meetup like 2 months ago at least. Yeah, and then we talk about a lot of things and definitely what led to today's collaboration. But if you wonder what Yura Glow is, I think let Mia introduce.
Yeah, I will briefly introduce what Yura Glow is. So it's an anti-aging supplement that loaded with Korean collagen tripeptide and some other powerful antioxidants. So we are not just about looking good, but also aim to prevent our body cells from damage in order to reduce the risk of chronic illnesses. So today we are able to living longer, but at the same time, more people are facing health issues sooner than they should. So we hope to rewrite the aging narrative so you can live younger with more confidence and happiness as the years go by.
Yeah, I think I relate to the last thing she said, like, we are experiencing more chronic illnesses, just like my back pain. So, we all thought like we will not use our psychology background anymore, but today we are here because we are going to talk about bits and pieces of psychology, bits and pieces of mental health, but most importantly, because it's the year-end season, we want to also recap on how we have been in 2023. We all do things very differently. We might do our resolutions very differently, but most importantly, I think it's about asking the right question so that you can look back in your year in a different perspective. So this is my favorite question to ask my clients in therapy session. So if let's say we were to turn back time, it's like January 2033, after we all count down, if I were to meet you back then and then I ask you, what are your goals this year? How would you answer that question?
I actually did write down my 2023 resolution, and I purposely went to debug what I have written yesterday. I actually wrote down 6 of them, but I managed to achieve just one. The others, like probably putting X amount of money into my home loan or losing X amount of weight, all this didn't happen.
So how do you feel when you look back? Because it's just yesterday, right?
Actually, I also never expected that I will run this business this year. So I guess planning doesn't really work that much because the things keep changing. But of course, I still think that it's good to have a rough plan like every time early of the year so that we are not straying too far from our life path.
Starting Yura Glow wasn't like part of the plan, actually.
Yep.
Oh, so you have something unexpected that came out of it.
Yeah, just an opportunity that popped up mid of this year. That's why I'm into this venture right now.
If I were to ask you to rate yourself, right now that the year is ending, it's like December already, how would you rate yourself from 1 to 10?
If I were to be tough on myself, I would give a 6.5. But no lah, let's go with 7.
Okay. What makes it a 7 though?
People who have known me will know that I love traveling. So I'm happy that I managed to travel earlier this year before starting my business. So I guess that I probably need to set aside of these travel dreams of mine as of now. But that's okay. So give it a 7 is because that life is so fast, so good. Although tough, I must admit. But in Chinese we say that 能够吃好睡好 and 还有家人在 which means that able to sleep well, eat well, and having family around compared to others, we are way luckier. Yeah.
So if I'm hearing it right, you are still very grateful for how the year is going, even though there are parts of it that you might not be as happy or as it's not as what you want it to be lah.
Yeah.
Would you say that even though you're grateful, you still feel like you're not doing enough? Like that tree lacking?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not a uncommon feeling to have, right? When we hear a lot of people say like, there's still so much I can do, there are still so much potential that I can hit, right? So I wonder, how does it look like for you? Like when you're not feeling good enough, how does it affect you showing up in your business?
Back to the first few months when I started Yura Glow, I actually used to stress over with what my peers were achieving, feeling like I wasn't measuring up. So at times I felt like I want to give up. It's probably the way that we grow up, right? Like with all the comparisons, with the grades. Then now probably even worse with the social media being thrown into the mix.
Yeah, I think I agree with you that comparison is always happening. Like everyone is competing on the social media, or even though we don't feel like it, but you only post your achievements, right? If you're at a place where you're not as proud of, you probably won't post it up. And I think that's a very slippery slope to be in, because if we compare our first chapter, like because you just started your business, right, and if you compare your first chapter of business to someone else like 20th chapter, then it's gonna be hard.
Very big disparity.
Yeah, correct. How do you cope with that?
I watched a documentary a while back that really hits me. It's basically a conversations between an actor called Jonah Hills and the psychiatrist Dr. Phil Stark. So Stark also has his own pyramid model, which is very different from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it's called levels of life force. So basically, if you are lost or stuck, it's important to work on your life force first by taking care of your body, then your people, and the last thing, yourself. And also, according to Stark, it is totally fine to be vulnerable or mess up, because failures and weaknesses are like a connector that connects you to the world, saying that I need your help because I can't do it by myself. So don't feel ashamed to ask for help if you need it.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with the part where you have to take care of your body, and then take care of your relationships, and then also take care of your personal development and also personal growth, right? The last one
is basically to be aware of what you feel, because people tend to probably suppress their negative feelings. They run away of it instead of how do we say that we admit the presence of it? Is it
instead of sitting with it, sitting with our
comfortable with it.
Correct. Yeah, especially growing up in an Asian household, right? Like feelings, like unless you are quote unquote doing well or successful or happy, like all these quote unquote positive feelings, or else you don't really talk about it at home. Like you don't really talk about sadness, but you talk about anger. Anger is the more acceptable negative emotions, but even so, it's still a very shy away topic. I definitely resonate in the way that you say, like, we are very interrelated. Like, people say, like, I have to, like, do things on my own, independent, but that is not true. And I'm not saying that you should be dependable totally with someone else, but more like we are human. We are human being. We are supposed to interact with people. But actually, feelings got no positive or negative one. It's just feelings, right? If you feel sad, it must mean something. Like, for example, if you see your friends travel and then you feel sad that you're not achieving that, right? It's saying something, because it's saying that, you actually really love traveling. That's why you feel sad, right? If you're feeling angry, like for example, if somebody scold my cat, okay, I recently have a cat, right? So so if somebody like kick my cat, then of course I feel angry, because I am protecting. There's this urge to protect. So all the emotions have its own functions to protect you. So agree on that. Like you have to also learn how to sit with your feelings and be comfortable with it.
It's like a coping mechanism, right?
Correct. Yeah, if you don't feel it, can you imagine what's gonna go on within you, right? And a lot of people nowadays, they numb themselves. Like you talk about social media also. Like numbing the feeling is not a solution, because numbing doesn't choose feelings. So if you want to numb sadness, you're gonna numb happiness as well. So the more you learn how to sit with it, or the more you learn to expand your window of tolerance of all the emotions, the better you will become. Tap into the psychology behind why we always feel like we're not good enough. In the cognitive behavioral therapy, we actually talk about how our thoughts actually affect our behavior. For example, when you feel like I'm not good enough, then you feel like giving up on your business, right? And then you start to feel like maybe imposter syndrome, or like all those things that we all feel on almost a daily basis. My personal experience with I am not good enough is when I went for therapy in 2019, I would say. That's when Ming Care started. It started because I was experiencing burnout. And after a month of therapy, my therapist told me, Minnie, do you notice that every time you come in, you tell me things that you haven't done before? Like you always list down like, I haven't like sent this message to this person, I haven't like sent this thing, I haven't do this thing, I haven't do my readings. So and then at that moment I'm like, it's so natural for us to always realize things that we haven't do, that we often overlook that the things that we have done. So I would say like the constant comparison with others, because when I see other people do this, I didn't do, then I would like, okay, I didn't do this, right? The constant comparison is very tiring, honestly, until one day you meet someone that has the exact same background, exact same life experience with you, then you can go ahead and compare. But often not it. There's no such person like that has the same background as you. I think again, feeling not good enough is not very uncommon, right? Even for me, it really does affect how I take on responsibilities. Sometimes I feel like, if I'm not doing good enough, I have to take more things to do, take more responsibility, and I kind of stretch myself too thin, right? So if you ask me moving forward, how can I do better? I would say really try to keep that not feeling good enough at bay. So for you, knowing that how it affects you showing up for your business, how would you say, like how would your 2024 hopes look like?
Now I have learned to make peace with myself by turning my focus inward, thinking how I can give back to the community. It's actually the best feelings when customer returns and telling me how my products have really made a difference in how they look and feel. So for 2024, I wish to extend this impact to even more people. And generally, I want people to start taking care of themselves, not just like their appearance, but also their health, physical health as well. Fast forward to us being 60 years plus, right? It's actually the time for us to enjoy our retirement life instead of letting health stop us from enjoying life.
So at 60, we're hoping like to sit on the beach, to travel the world.
Able to walk.
Yeah, the quality of life, I would say, right? To remain that quality of life. I think similar to my hopes for 2024 as well. I'm hoping that more people could really talk about mental health like how we are talking about it now, right? It's not easy to tell someone that, I actually feel like I'm not doing good enough, that vulnerable side of you, like you say, to be okay with what we are feeling, right? So, and if we look at WHO report, they actually say that mental health could be the next global health crisis, and mental health illnesses could have been preventable. It is something that, if we talk about it more enough, if we have more awareness, if we, prevented it earlier, it could have not happened, right? So, so my hope for people, especially in Malaysia, I would say, to start to have more conversations like this. And businesses like you know, I've also collab with other businesses who are really interested in, you know, raising more awareness. I'm hoping to do more of that in 2024.
Yeah.
And you know, if you are stuck in the loop of feeling not good enough, it's okay. I do offer a 15 minutes free consultation. If you're from Yura Glow, just let me know you're from Yura Glow customers, and then we can definitely schedule that to see whether therapy is the right thing for you, or if not, perfectly fine, I will redirect you to the right resources as well. Yeah.
So for the Min Care audience, DM us with the magic word Min Care. You will get an additional 10% off on any of our packages until December 31st. So let's make the rest of this year extra awesome together. And wishing you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yay.
Thank you guys for sticking around until the end of our podcast.
Yes. See you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.
La, la, la.